You will be set for life if you learn and apply this boring sentence. That's what we are going to be looking at in today's video. So you want to stay to the very end of this video so that you can learn more. If you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Eva Mtali. Welcome to this channel where we talk about all things travel. So guys, today I am going to share with you a story of what happened to me at the early part of this year, to be precise, on the morning of January 12th, 2025. I had just come back from India from a brutal week-long business trip, and I was so jet lagged. It was an overnight flight. I had had a very long layover in Bombay, 10 hours of layover. My phone was dead, you know, the whole works, yeah? So by the time I landed in Nairobi, it was like 6 a.m.-ish in the morning. So I was like really, really tired, couldn't think straight. And interestingly, while I was on the flight, actually before I even boarded the flight, guys, please let me know if you can hear me. Let me know in the comment section below if you can hear me well. I'm using this microphone. It's been forever since I came live. Anyway, so guys, I had, my phone had died like before I get on the flight. And for some reason, I told myself I was going to charge my cell phone as soon as I got on the plane, but I don't know what happened. It slipped off my mind. So as soon as I landed at JKIA, I kept telling my colleague, I need to charge my phone. I need to charge my phone, because the office was actually going to send a driver to come and pick us up. So he needed to be able to contact me and know if we had landed or not. And I kept telling my colleague as soon as we landed at the airport that I need to charge my phone. Actually, when we landed from the plane, before we even got into the arrivals. And my colleague was like, okay, let's go through immigration and then you can charge your phone. And because there's usually sockets along the sides of the walls at JKI. So he convinced me and I didn't charge my phone. So as soon as we passed by immigration, I saw more sockets and I'm telling my colleague, Albert, I need to charge my phone. He's like, no, okay, now let's go to baggage claim. So we get to baggage claim and I pick my baggage. So this is almost 8:30-ish maybe, thereabouts. You know how JKI can be dramatic. Anyway, so after I pick my luggage, I end up not charging my phone. So for some reason, I contact the lady who organizes transport for us, and then she liaises through my colleague Albert, and I figure out my transport and blah blah. So I get onto the cab that the office has arranged for us without charging my phone. This is now probably like 8:30-ish. So when I got home, remember that was almost maybe 9 o'clock. So because my phone is dead. So I literally just plugged it in, and then I am that kind of girl. Let me know if you're like me. Like when I get off a trip, before I do anything, doesn't matter what time of the night it is, I unpack my bag and put the laundry in the washing machine. Like there's no way I am sleeping with clothes from a trip. It's just like in a suitcase, not happening. So what I did, I took my phone, plugged it in the charger, and then while I was doing that, I did the laundry because it's like morning-ish. So by the time I was finishing all the laundry, it's like 10 a.m. by now, and I decided now to just check my phone because it had been dead like the whole night, and now it's almost like 10 o'clock. I decided to check my phone. And it was like I had just stepped into another world. The moment I checked my phone, there was like messages, you know, like the way your phone has been dead for a long time. So the moment you put it on, like there's just messages streaming in. So there's just messages streaming in. Transaction authorized, transaction authorized, transaction authorized, transaction authorized. Over and over. And it was in millions of Vietnamese dong. It was coming like 20 million, 20 million, 20 million, 20 million. And then it went down to like 9,999,999. Like it was just in millions of Vietnamese dong, like VND, just flying out of my account. So I paused for a moment and I'm like, couldn't have been a big deal, right? Like probably this is delayed transactions from my trip because I was in India for almost more than a week, actually, almost 10 days. So I told myself this must be delayed charges from the trip, but because it came like VND, and I'm just thinking in my head, is it Indian rupees? Like, it's not even hitting me. But then another notification came, and then another, and then another. So by the time the last one hit, showing that I have 0 Kenya shillings to spend, that is when it hit me. I had been scammed. So I was just there staring at my phone, and I'm just like, what is not happening? So, you know what usually happens when you just discover you've been scammed. So what now surprised me, the first thing I decided to do was now check if my card was still there. So I automatically went to my handbag, and you guys will not believe my card was still in the handbag. But transactions, so and when I checked the time when the transactions had taken place, the transactions all took place in a span of 1 minute, from 8:47, between 8:47 a.m. and 8:48 a.m. These guys had literally swept the entire card. And then, obviously, what usually happens when such a thing happens to you, the first thought that comes, like, why hadn't I been more careful? Why didn't I even listen to that voice inside me? Because remember, guys, as soon as I landed off the plane, something kept telling me, you need to charge this phone, you need to charge this phone, you need to charge this phone. And it would be like, they're all along the warning signs where they're like, you need to charge. Like, I've never felt that compelling reason to charge my phone. And usually, those who know me personally, my phone doesn't even have a ringtone. Like, my phone is always on silent. But I just kept hearing this message saying, you need to charge your phone, you need to charge your phone, but I didn't listen to it. And what's crazy is that these notifications had been rolling in at the exact same times that I had been thinking about charging my phone, like 8:47, 8:48, you know? And it's like, I don't know, maybe the universe was trying to warn me, and I was just like ignoring, which is so classic. I mean, is that what we do when we hear that still small voice? A lot of us just ignore. But here's where the magic happens. So coincidentally, around that time, this was exactly January 12th. So the beginning of that year, if you've been here long enough, you know that I do life coaching. And my life coach had just started a program. She always has like different courses that we undertake. And there's one called the Wild Dreamers. So in the Wild Dreamers College, it's a 6-month course. And she usually gives us like assignments, different assignments. So one of the assignments she has given us at the beginning of the course in January, she had told us that every day, when you wake up in the morning, before you do anything, just write all your intentions for the day. So we usually start with this sentence: everything is always working out for me, and these are the things that I want to work out for me today. So, and then we'd list down all the things we want to work out for us on that day. And then at the end of the day, we come back and take stock of how the day has been. All things work out for me, and these are the things that worked out for me today. And then during the day, she has encouraged us that as you go through your day, obviously there's going to be those times where the things that you had not intended happen to you, like maybe the bad things happen to you, or things that are just out of your control. Like in my case, I mean, I was scammed a lot of money. So she has given us that the easiest way to keep it positive is the moment, so you've put all your intentions for the day, and you actually believe that things are always working out for you, and you've set your intentions. So one of the things she has given us in the course, it's, can I call it like a rule that we live by in that college, is that if any negative thought comes to you, don't dwell on it for more than 68 seconds. Like literally, it doesn't matter you've been scammed, like I was scammed. 68 seconds, you have to pivot back and go and look at all those things that are going on well in your life. So for me personally, as soon as that, so when you're doing the course and nothing bad has happened to you, it appears like something really easy. But now for me, in that moment, it was like literally 12 days into the course, and now I have to put this course into action. Like I've literally been scammed, and I've just landed, I'm jet lagged, I'm tired. India is like 3 hours ahead of Kenya. And then I hadn't slept the whole flight. I had the 10 hours layover in Mumbai. Like everything was just happening. And now you only have 68 seconds and you need to pivot. And there's no way you can, the only way to pivot is by thinking things that are different from what is happening to you in the moment. So fortunately for me, so immediately I just started thinking, like I was on that flight. like the flight could have come down, it didn't. I'm safe here. Like those guys could have stolen from me when I was still in India. What could I have done? At least I had already done a lot of my shopping and all that. And then the third thing that immediately I pivoted to, and I'm gonna now talk about, is the fact that they stole using my credit card. Now, with just thinking about all those, and I'm gonna come and just break it down a little bit why it's important to mention the fact that they stole through my credit card. So immediately I pivoted into these things that, like, I just saw myself, it could have been worse, and this is what I'm gonna pivot to, and just stop thinking about that scam that had happened to me. So I calmed down, and then immediately I called my bank and I told them, okay guys, I have been scammed, this is what is happening, you need to block. I need to charge this phone, guys. Just give me 1 second, I'll be back. I need to charge, my notes are on this phone. I'm back, guys. I had gone to, my notes are on this phone and the phone is dying. Anyway, yeah. So immediately, like, I pivoted and I was just like, anyway, things could have been worse, yada, yada. And then I also remembered there's a statement that the coach keeps telling us every day, and that's the one I would like you guys to really focus on. Things never fall apart, they fall in place. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're scammed, somebody has died, you've lost your job, doesn't matter. Things never fall apart, they fall into place. So immediately that's what I told myself, and I was just like, what lesson is there in this? And I immediately pivoted and just started writing down what, as soon as I'd called the bank, they told me they had blocked my account. Now I just sat down and just, because that was the only way I was going to pivot and just forget about what had happened to me. So I started like writing down some of the lessons that I could learn from this experience. And I'd even stopped blaming myself. I even went into the, so our Wild Dreamers, the course, we do it on WhatsApp, even the life coaching, everything happens on WhatsApp. So I immediately went to the WhatsApp group and I told guys, hey, guess what happened? I just got scanned like more than 500,000 Kenya shillings. And guess what, guys? Like, I'm not even panicking. I don't have anxiety. And I never knew that the time for me to apply this sentence, things don't fall apart, they fall in place, would come this quickly. And for me, that is just growth. So I could have freaked out. I could have been enraged. I could have cursed the universe. Like, why didn't you make that voice even louder? But I chose to look at it differently. And those are some of the lessons I want to share with you. So number one, credit cards versus debit cards. So guys, as I've told you, those guys literally, so what I usually do, I have a credit card, and what I usually do is I top up, like if I'm traveling and I know I'm going to spend like, I don't know, 100K, and let's say my credit card had a limit of 100K. So what I do, I just top up with the amount I think I'm going to spend. And then so that when I even spend on that card, I know that I'm using, even though I have an allowance of that 100K, and I top up with my 100K, that's like 200K. So I spend money that I know I already have. And in instances where I don't have enough money and I spend money from my credit card, I make sure that I pay it off in that month, because you get it interest free. And if you wait for it to roll over to the next month, it's just going to be expensive in terms of interest. So please take note of that should you decide to switch to credit cards. So you know what I learned is that credit cards are way better than debit cards, especially when it comes to fraud, and especially online fraud. So what happened with my card, I do not know what happened, because I had my card in my handbag and my card was used in Vietnam. Guys, can you imagine? I was in India, flew to Nairobi overnight. By the time I was landing, my card was used in Vietnam, and I am in Kenya with my card. So usually I have put protection in my card such that when you swipe my card or use it, if you swipe the card, you have to enter a PIN. If you use it online, you have to enter an OTP, like the phone sends me an OTP on my phone, which I enter. So obviously those were violated, and that's how these guys were able to use my card. But So obviously they swapped online because I had my card with me. Now, the thing with credit cards, what makes it more advantageous, and especially if you are going to be doing a lot of online transactions, or if you are going to be traveling a lot, please get yourself a credit card. Because when it comes to credit card, remember, this money is not yours. Okay, there's money you've topped up if you've topped up. But most people, when they're using the credit card, they're going to be using the bank's money. Now, because this is not your money, liability lies with the bank. So if your card is defrauded or is compromised, it's not like money from your account that has been defrauded. It's the bank's money that they have given you, like an overdraft. So the liability shifts with the bank. And if this had happened to me with my debit card, which means if I had 200K in my bank account in cash, and then somebody stole my debit card details, like my bank account is literally less 200K. And you may be fortunate if the bank decides to follow, but I can tell you 99.9% of the time you're going to be on your own. So for me, the moment I told the bank, like, hey guys, I did not do none of these transactions, please follow up, please do chargebacks, please do the reversals. Yeah. So with the credit card, you're still in the game, but the ability is not with you. Then number 2 lesson that I learned from this, guys, always trust your gut. Trust your gut. There's always that voice, that still small voice, the one that always says, do this, check that, make sure you're safe, charge your phone, don't do this, don't go to this place, don't give that guy your number. You know, that voice, don't take up that job. Can you apply for this opportunity? Can you check this newspaper advert? Can you go online? Can you check that message? Don't respond to that message. You know, that small voice? Make sure you listen to it. I didn't listen to mine. And like I've told you guys, the exact same moments I was thinking of charging my phone, those are the exact same moments I was being scammed. Trust your instincts. They're often your best defense against any form of trouble. And if you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comment section below. Gut feeling. But now when it comes to your gut, remember your gut is literally in your tummy. It's here where the food passes. The question is, how accurate is your gut? So make sure whatever you're feeding your gut will keep your gut clean, alert, aware, so that it can be sharp and let you know when things are happening. Lesson number 3 that I learned is to trust the process. Here's the truth. Things don't fall apart, they fall in place. And I'm glad. So I always want, like I told you guys, I wrote these notes down on that very moment because I needed to pivot. And it's not easy to pivot when you be scammed like more than $500,000. Trust me, guys, it's not easy. So I literally had to sit down and write, like, what are those lessons I can learn from this, like, immediately. But the other thing I didn't want to write is to, like, share that info until I had the money refunded. So guys, the bank called me, I think it was 3 or 4 days ago, to just let me know that the money had been, like, the chargebacks had been done and the monies had been refunded and everything was okay. And that's now why I'm actually doing this video, because now I can speak from a place of, like, from a lived experience. Yeah, I didn't want a situation where, for example, guys will ask, also, was your money refunded, blah, 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 and then I don't have answers. So that's why I'm doing this video today, because I was scammed on January 12th. And that's when I informed the bank. And so actually I learned that the chargebacks were done on 8th of February. So that's almost 25 days after, though I learned about it like yesterday, because I wasn't even checking. After I'd asked the bank to block everything, I wasn't even checking. So right now, the fact that I was scammed, this whole experience has forced me to look at like how I operate my card, my finances differently. So obviously, so interestingly, I still don't know what really happened, how I got scammed, because there's nowhere I ever, like, even left my card anywhere. I don't know. So maybe when I was, like, buying from the different shops in India, somebody, I don't know, I'm told they have, like, card readers that can even read your card when it's in your handbag. I don't know if that's true. Let me know in the comment section below. But if somebody has an idea of how I was scammed, I have no idea to date. But this scam is now forcing me to look at my finances differently, to obviously get smarter about protecting myself, to just, even just trust my gut when things don't make sense. Like, it didn't make sense to me that I kept feeling the urge to charge my phone. I was like, I'm going home. Like, what's the hurry, So it wasn't a matter of like I was trying to get punished or something like that. And I'm actually looking at it from the place of things could have gotten worse, but they didn't. Like, there's that aspect of pivoting and looking at things differently. And then the other lesson I learned from this is that sometimes when we find ourselves in such situations, it's very easy to focus on that and even forget the other aspects of your life that are going on. So every time I told people like this story, and they were like, oh, and you're just calm, and you're just like, how? Like, if it was me, I would have run mad. And I'm like, okay, fine, you've been scammed, yes. But can you imagine? Because I was actually scammed. I returned to Kenya on a Sunday. Then I had to go to work on Monday. So I was thinking, can you imagine if I literally lost it on Sunday? And then I'm not able to go to work, whatever reason. Like, because one bad thing is happening to me right now, I now focus, like I lose focus of everything else that is already going on in my life. Like, this is the one thing, like, learn to compartmentalize your life and the things that are going on. Like, I didn't allow this one thing to ruin the rest of my day. I was just like, okay, this has happened, fine. We are gonna move on to other things, and then when time comes, we'll come back and sort that one out. I didn't allow this one incident to ruin like everything else that was going on in my life. I literally just packed it aside. And that's why even when now the bank was contacting me, like 2 weeks later, that like, we've already refunded the money. I didn't even know this had happened because I just literally pushed it outside of, the realm of everyday life because I didn't want it to stretch me. Then the other lesson I learned is that life is not a straight line. Things are not like always happening in a linear manner. Things in life don't always go like the way we expect them to go. There's all these twists and turns and ups and downs and highs and lows and all these things that happen. And that doesn't mean that we've lost the way or we've done something wrong or there's something wrong with us. So like in my case, in an ideal world, I should have just landed all my money intact, no scam, no nothing, I'm moving on in my life. That didn't happen. There was this scam that happened to me. But now a month later, the chargebacks have been done and the money has been refunded. Like, what was so difficult? So now the fact that the money has been refunded, it's very easy for me to start thinking, so why then was it even stolen in the first place? Why did God or, whoever, the universe, whatever you believe in, why did they allow the money to be stolen if they knew it was going to be refunded? You know what I mean? It's just because life is not linear. And in fact, when it appears like things are not working the way we should or the way they should, it shouldn't even bother us because you can only be where you need to be at a particular point in your life. And things might not make sense today, but like I said, trust the process. Like, you're where you are now because that's where you're supposed to be. The scam happened because that's when it was supposed to happen. It's not like I was careless or what. And somehow the full picture, like God already had the full picture that at some point the money was going to come back. By that time, the lessons will have been learned. And you know what I mean? So when you apply this mindset, you stop like trying to control things that are beyond your life, and you start believing that things don't fall apart, they fall in place. And it doesn't matter that it's good things happening, bad things happening, because you guys have been here long enough. I always say that there's two powers in this universe. There's the power of God and there is the power of Satan, and they're both so busy working. So that means there's always two sides to everything. And that's why, and none of those things are, as long as you are in alignment, none of those things are going to be out of place. Things are always going to be falling apart. So it doesn't matter what is happening in your life at whatever point in time. Just know that things are falling in place. They are not falling apart. So when you apply this mindset, you will find yourself stopping to fight against the natural flow of things. So you see, like for me, the 68-second rule really worked for me because I got scammed and I'm like, okay, coach advice, you only have 68 seconds to think about this scam. And those 68 seconds is I took the time to call the bank, settle, and do all this kind of, okay, it took longer than 68 seconds, but I knew that's all. Like the only time I have to think about this theft is for the period when I'm reporting it to the bank. And once I do that, done, dusted, let the universe do its thing, let God do his thing, I'm done. I was scammed, fine. It's unfortunate, but things are not falling apart. They are falling in place. So instead, you just find yourself starting to move with it. You embrace what comes your way with an open heart, with an open mind, and you don't even start like forcing issues, you know? So what is this boring sentence I'm talking about? Like you've just had me saying things never fall apart. They fall in place. If you apply this sentence to your life, you stop seeing the things that happen to you or the things that happen in your life as frustrating, and you start looking for those subtle lessons, those subtle pointers. What does God want me to learn from this experience? Yeah. And the other thing that I learned from this is that life doesn't have to make sense right away. Yeah. You just trust that it's all working for you. You just trust that things are falling in place. So yes, even when you get scammed, like I was scammed, things are falling in place. They are not falling apart. So that's the message I had for you guys today. Let me just see if there's anything I might have left out. I think I have covered all the things I wanted, yeah, to cover. Yeah, so like I've said, when you use this kind of mindset, where other people get frustrated, where other people start seeing setbacks, for you, you're going to start seeing opportunities in them. So for me right now, I'm going to definitely adopt better habits in terms of how I use my credit card, how I use my debit card. I'm going to be more careful next time when guys, you should have seen when I was in Cape Town, because I came from India, and then I think 3 or 4 days later, I was in Cape Town. You should have seen the way I was like so careful with how I'm using my credit card. So for me, this scam wasn't just like a loss. It was sort of like a wake-up call that has forced me to see things differently. And then, guys, there's something else that I noticed, and I don't know if you watched like from the beginning. So one thing that I noted when these guys first started, the first transaction they tried to do on my card, it was almost like 1 million, equivalent of 1 million Kenya shillings. So of course, they tried that transaction in Vietnamese dong, and then it didn't work. So they kept lowering the figure until they got to a figure that they could comfortably swipe. Now, for me, I decided, and I was even making this joke in the coaching group, and I was like, these guys actually thought that I have 1 million in my account. And I said, you know what? I'm going to claim that 1 million. And guys, I milked that. You know, like for me, I said, like, even thieves are manifesting for me 1 million in my bank account. Like, duh. And I was just like, you know what? I am going to milk this and I'm going to claim it. I'm like, God, even the thieves have manifested for me 1 million in my bank account. Please make it happen. We need this 1 million, like, to just come instantly. And I said, like, I'm gonna milk this manifestation. Like, these guys literally tried to swipe 1 million from my bank account that was there, and then they came down to 900K, and they just kept coming down until they found a figure that they kept, and they swiped like 5 times until they cleared the whole account. So guys, get comfortable with uncertainty. Things will not always work the way you want them to work. Stop struggling against what is beyond your control. It doesn't matter what that is, guys. And it's not easy, but you have to keep like really practicing. And for me, what saved me, because like I told you, we had started these exercises in January. So like every single day, I was writing. Up to now, I'm still doing them. I write those intentions in the morning. And then if something comes up during the day, and I literally take 68 seconds thinking about it, and I immediately pivot to what's happening in my life and I write it down. These are the things that are working for me today. So that mindset has really helped me. And so that by the time this big thing was coming of being scammed, my mind had already been trained to, pivot and not dwell on an issue for more than 68 seconds. I don't know what you guys think. Is this something you'd want to try? Please try it. I've been doing it now this is the second month when it comes to pivoting, like focus only on the positive. If something negative shows up, doesn't matter whether it's in thought or it's happening in real life, pivot. No more than 68 seconds of thinking about it. Pivot immediately by thinking about the good things that are happening in your life and then write them down. Guys, there is power in writing down stuff. I don't know how much I can stress this. And if I showed you like my notebook, the one I've been writing on, it's not here, it's in the other room. I didn't come with it, but I will show you my notebook is full of intentions and things that I'm crossing off and the pivoting and all that. So guys, that's what I wanted to share with you today. I'm gonna read your comments. So Chella, I see you. You say looking awesome. Thank you so much. I was just like, I had actually planned to do this video on Valentine's Day because I love this red and I just love how I look. Anyway, so thank you so much. James Kishuhi, hey Eva, a long time ago. James from Kenya, Naivasha. Hi, James, I was in Naivasha the whole of last week. We should have linked up. I went to Naivasha on Sunday. I came back on Sunday and there's a whole video loading. Make sure you guys watch. Armstrong from Dubai. Hi, Armstrong. How are you? I'm going to be in Dubai during the weekend of Eid. So hit my inbox. We could do a drink in one of the evenings if you will not be working. I'm going to be in Dubai that weekend of Eid. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging around. I know it has been a minute since I was here, but your girl has been busy. I took up this new job. It's a consulting gig, and there is no time for anything. But I still try to do as few videos here and there. I am so behind. The job has so much travel. Like I just come home to do laundry and I'm off to the next country. But I am not complaining. Remember, this year, 2025, we are manifesting. I actually have wrote it my intentions to do minimum of 15 countries in 2025. And now we are in February and we are already on country number 2. Country number 2, and it was paid for by my employer. Like that's what I'm manifesting. 15 trips this year, fully paid for. And so far we are doing so well. I don't know, what are your intentions for this 2025? So for me, I just want to do all those trips. Anne Jaggi, thank you for your incredible content. Yeah, thank you so much, Anne. I've missed you. It's been a minute. Guys, it was a great pleasure. Please let me know in the comment section below which of these lessons resonated the most with you. And I would encourage you moving forward, please try using this boring sentence. Things don't fall apart, they fall in place. And let's see how what changes you're gonna see in your life. I wish you guys all the best. Happy February. I know we always do a video at the beginning of the month. For whatever reason we didn't do, but count this as the February intro video. And thank you for sticking around. Please share this video. And we are still, guys, on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Like, guys, how long do you want us to stick at 94K? We need that silver plaque here. And we need to go for the party. We are going to be celebrating most probably in Zanzibar for our 100,000 subscriber mark. So thanks, guys. I will see you on the next one. Bye. Now I haven't forgotten where to end a live from. Oh, okay. Bye, guys.